Terrell, and I'm going to give you my review on the pulse mopping system. I've had this in circulation for about 5-6 months now, and use it in multiple different locations. And we've had very interesting results after using this. We've really put this mop through the ringer in lots of different situations and circumstances. Many different employees have used it. And so I'll just tell you a little bit about this and give you our review on what we think. Okay, first the pros to the mop. First of all, I mean, you can't tell from a camera, but this is very light. It only holds 800 milliliters in in here. Sorry, couldn't remember the measurement it uses. In a container, which isn't that much weight in fluid, so it's very easy to carry. So some of your smaller employees, this one that's complaining about weight is some of the other type of systems that have much bigger, bulkier. Some of them like up to 2 liters that it holds on the reservoir. They can get rather heavy to swing around. And so this is much lighter to carry even when completely full. Also, which if you can see, I'll show you, right here you've got this rubber piece, and what it does is it sprays out the water in 3 different directions, but it also does it slightly at an angle, and you should be seeing a clip of it right there of the water coming out, and you'll see that it comes out in 3 different angles, and which gives you a much better spread across the front of the pad, and they're much smaller streams, so you use a lot less water. So over other type of microfiber system, that's fantastic. It's the best I've used at present for dispensing the water from the mop to the floor. Another advantage is the very easy to use design of this right here. Just the quick connect system, and again you should be seeing a clip of it right there of how easy it is just to snap it on and fill it up. So it's really quite easy to use, and it automatically stops as soon as it gets full. Also, say you don't have the caddy that you want to use, you can actually just unscrew this right here and you can fill it up yourself. And there's a little filter, which I don't know if you can see that right there. There's a little filter in there to filter any large debris from getting into the bladder. Really nice feature that they designed there with that. Also, it's very easy to push this button. It's not the best in the world. I have seen some others, but in reality it's pretty good. It's in a convenient location. The height of the handle is actually really good for both your taller and shorter employees. I guess someone 6'5", it might be a little too short, but it's really easy to use. Also, something that's nice is the design of the head of these right here. I have yet to find one that's indestructible. Every single one I've ever used always breaks. But this one's really easy. You just push these buttons and it pops out. And you can swap this out for a myriad of different heads. You can do both wider, shorter. You can even do heads for different types of applications if you so choose, dusters and whatnot. Don't know why you'd use a duster on this, but you could if you wanted to. So that's really nice. And it does, you know, it doesn't get stuck. And so your range of motion with this actually works really well. And then the other thing, this is just a little thing that they thought of. This one, as you can tell, been used so much it's wore out right here. When you put this against a wall, which let me show you. I got stuck to the carpet. You put it against a wall, you get stuck to the carpet. The rubber catches and it doesn't slide. You know, a few things annoy me more than having my mop put it against a wall and I watch someone drop it and it slams against the floor. So that's something I really like about it. So those are some of the pros to the mop. And so I said it's very easy to use in that regard, very lightweight. It's just as easy to teach someone how to use it as any other microfiber system. And so yeah, those are the pros. So next let's talk about the cons. Alright, the cons to this. I really like this device. Before I want to preface this, there are some major drawbacks to this mop, and we'll talk about those in a second, but I just do want to preface, I do like this, and so I don't want these cons to deter anybody from even considering this in different types of applications, which I'll talk about in a minute. The first thing to talk about is it's very difficult to work on. I'll see if I can get a clip to, if I get it, I'll put it right there. this is very difficult to work on inside. There's actually screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws you can do, and you can separate this plastic, and inside you'll find the bladder to this, which right here you're actually touching the bladder. It's kind of a thick gauge plastic, but the way they designed it, it's not a solid tube, it's a long piece that's been attached, and there's a seam that runs down the front. I have experienced on more than one of these that seam separating. I've tried everything I can think of to get that shorter. Well, yeah, I've tried pretty much everything I can think of to get that seam to go back together once it's separated, and it always comes apart again. Now, however, the common trend of that has always been in a hospital with a pretty harsh chemical that we use on the floor. It's just a quat disinfectant, it's nothing crazy, but when it does build up, I mean, I've felt it on my skin, it actually burns my skin to have it on there if I get some of the buildup that's built up right around here or inside this. So that may be part of it, I don't know. I haven't ever had that happen at other locations where we just use a regular neutral cleaner. The other thing that I dislike about this is if you do have to take this apart, you are more than likely going to puncture the bladder trying to put the darn thing back together. It's really difficult to put back together. It can be put back together, but it's difficult. My other complaint is these heads. Now, as I said in the pros, they all break. That's normal and to be expected. But I've had on numerous occasions, and it always happens very early on. As you can see here, they have this yellow piece, one on either end. And these Velcro strips, which you can see this one's very well used, they actually slide within a set of guides. So you can replace them, which is a good design. So if they wear out, you can slide out a new one and put in a new Velcro. But these yellow end caps, they pop off, and employees tend to seem to never notice that they've lost them. And so if you lose this end piece, it's useless. The Velcro won't stay unless you glue it in or go buy your own Velcro and stick it on. But the construction of this is good. So I mean, this part all holds up. It's just this part right here, these end caps, I'm not a big fan of the way they're designed. Another thing is this button assembly right here. Now this one is actually broken. This has been very well used, as I said before. You can tell by this. This was used in a hospital, so it got a ton of use every day. Got a lot of use. But there's no response to this. So somewhere in here, down to the bottom, it just can disconnect it, and I'm not sure how to take this apart yet. The only thing I haven't tried is there is a screw here. I've not taken that off yet to see if the whole trigger assembly slides out. But I can't get to anything in here for this whole valve assembly. Even when you take the plastic apart, the valve is actually inside the metal tube and not inside this plastic part. So that's some major flaws with the device. Something else to consider with this that I've had problems with is these valves right here. Let me take this off so you can get a better look. If you look right here, it just pushes in right in the center. Now I have had problems. See if this pin will work, I can push it in. Yeah. So you can see there it actually pushes in. That valve will get stuck. It'll also get stuck on the other end. I don't know why, but it'll get stuck and you're unable to get it unstuck. At least from the caddy, I should say. So that I've had some problems with. So that is, those are some of the cons about this. So next I'll just give you my sum up, my review, my official verdict on this mop, and you can make the decision for yourself what you. Alright, so the Rubbermaid Pulse Mop, would I use it? The answer is actually yes and no. There are certain situations where I would most definitely use this. In things like a small clinic or in a school. Anywhere where I have to cover a large distance, where I don't want to be running back to the closet, or in an area where I would have to change out the mop water frequently. This can save you immensely in chemical consumption, and it's real easy. So in those types of situations, yes, I would use this. I prefer this over many other microfiber type systems, and it holds up relatively well in areas where throughout a 4 to 6 hour shift, it may be only actual time on the floor, maybe an hour, hour and a half a day. It holds up very well to that when compared to other microfiber systems. Now, areas I would not use this. I've been using this in the hospital since December. I have, as of this week, abandoned it. This is the last one I'm replacing. I'm looking for a new system that I like. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I'll let you guys know when I find it, and we'll give a review on it. But I have abandoned this in the hospital. In an 8-hour setting, this mop would get used time on the floor probably about 4 hours a day. And that coupled with the quat disinfectant, it was a lot of abuse. This thing can't seem to hold up for more than 2 months. It just starts to fall apart in lots of different areas. I mean, on this one mop alone, we've got a sticky valve, we've got a broken trigger, and it leaks like crazy from down here, as well as on the caddy. It practically pours out of the caddy, and all of that happened in a matter of a couple weeks. I would try to repair it, it would break again, and then something else would break. So in the hospital setting, I'm going to have to give this a failing grade. I love the mop, but I just can't use it there. But however, in an airport, whereas another place I use this, I love it. It's all I'll use. If one breaks, I'll replace it. I save a lot on chemical. I save a lot on time. It's much easier to use. Not to mention the appearance of the device. People like to see this. I get tons of compliments. People are like, "Oh, what is that?" And they want to know, and so I tell them, I'm like, "Oh, I want to get that in my home." So it helps with our company image. Whereas a mop bucket ringer doesn't do jack for my company image, so that's something to consider. And so, yeah, my verdict is passing in some facilities, failing in another. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Chris, at IATConsultingGroup.com.